"So, Courtney, is it?" I asked with what I hoped was a comforting and non-threatening smile. I set the mug holding my newest tea blend I'd created for the Christmas season, a variety of fresh mint and a couple of other secret ingredients, down on the kitchen table. I called it Candy Cane Concoctions and hoped others would find it as soothing as it was refreshing. "What can I do for you?" Courtney didn't look at me as she reached for her tea. She was young, younger than me, and extremely pretty, despite looking like something the cat dragged in. And believe me, I know all about cats who can drag in. Midnight, my black cat, had presented me with more than my share of gifts over the years. Courtney's long, wavy blonde hair was pulled back in a haphazard ponytail, and there were puffy black circles under her china blue eyes. She was also visibly pregnant. "Well, Mrs. Kingsley," she began, but I quickly interrupted her. "It's Miss, but please call me Charlie." Her lips quirked up in a tiny smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Charlie, then. I was hoping you could make me a love potion." I quickly dropped my gaze, busying myself by pushing the plate of frosted Christmas sugar cookies I had made earlier toward her, not wanting her to see my shock and sorrow. She was pregnant and wanted a love potion. This just couldn't be good. "I don't actually do love potions," I said. "I make custom blended teas and tinctures." "What about Ruthie?" Courtney asked. "She claims those heart tinctures you made are the reason Bob finally noticed her." I gritted my teeth. When Ruthie's dad was recovering from a heart attack, I made a couple of teas and tinctures for him. Ruthie, who had a crush on her coworker Bob for years, was apparently so desperate for him to notice her that one day she decided to bring one of my tinctures to work and slip it into his drink. And apparently, shortly after that, Bob started up a conversation with her and eventually asked her out on a date. "I didn't give Ruthie a love potion," I said. "I gave her dad some tinctures and teas to help his heart." Courtney gazed at me with those clear blue eyes, reminding me of a broken-down, worn-out doll. "Why don't you tell me a little bit about who you want this love potion for?" I asked. "That would help me figure out how best to help you." She didn't immediately answer, instead keeping her eyes down. "It's for my husband," she said, her voice so low it was nearly a whisper. I could feel my heart sink to the floor. "You think your husband fell out of love with you?" "I know he has," she said. "He's having an affair." "Oh, Courtney," I sighed. "I'm so sorry to hear that." "He's in love with her!" The words burst out of her as she raised her head. The expression on her face was so anguished that for a moment it took my breath away. "Can you please just sell me what you made for Ruthie's dad, so I can at least try?" "Whatever happened between Ruthie and Bob had nothing to do with one of my tinctures," I said flatly. "I don't want to give you false hope. I really think your best course of action is to have an open and honest conversation with him about the affair." She was noticeably disappointed. It seemed to radiate out of every pore. I hated being the one to cause that, but I also wasn't going to sell her anything that could be misconstrued as a love potion. Not only for her sake, but my own. The last thing I needed was lovesick women showing up at my door to buy something that didn't exist. "Okay," she said quietly as she ducked her head so I couldn't quite see her face. "No love potion. How about the opposite?" I looked at her in confusion. "The opposite?" "Yes. Something that would kill him." My mouth fell open. "Well, I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?"